Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon. It's $3 a month. So, in the last Let's Play, after we had a bit of fun with Nick, he interrogated us, being like, hey, Jack was dead at the mine or went missing at the same time you walked away from the mine with a head wound. I know it's you. Tell me what happened. At which point we told him, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. Jack was a POS. Is that how you do it? You could maybe suss what I said, but remain. And was like, okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna try and help you and, not tell people any more stuff, because he told William about seeing us walking away from the mine, and William was interrogating us, at which point Nick was like, when I said that I saw him going from the mine over there, I meant like he was coming from, like, I don't know, west or something like that. Basically saying that he saw us somewhere else, in a bit more inside town, so we look a bit less suspect, And, yeah. I really wish I could tell these guys, dudes, just tell William. He's smart, he's just. Also, he was the first route we picked, and he believed us. I mean, he wasn't 100% believing us, because, he was smartly being like, let's, be on our guard and check out the area. And then he was like, okay, yeah, Jack was a POS, and I could definitely see how, self-defense and all that stuff. Gonna have to redo that route, personally, because A, I guess they redid that route, and B, or at least a bit of it, and B, it's been like maybe a year. I mean, we're on episode 60-something right now, right? 70. Ooh, last episode was 69. Nice. So, let's reset our face. And get back to trying not to be caught. The saloon is quiet. Bright in the sunrise coming through the windows. Bright with. Most everyone else is asleep. Really? They're probably way up later than me. Or they were. I go out the back because that's the most important part. I go out the back because that's the most important part of me keeping my work private. Oh, okay. If no one sees me leave this place, then most just assume I'm some vagrant with weird fur. Of course, unlike the girls, my clients have to find me, so there's a certain level of me being in the know that I'm comfortable with, and I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm feeling better already, feeling the warmth of the sun soak into my fur, listening to the townsfolk slowly wake up and bringing the streets around me to life. Also, here's a question. Does Harlan live at the hip too? He could just be a worker, and not a worker. Or working. Anyways, it seems loony that I feel the way I did in my bedroom. Just needed to get out. There's a real bounce to my step when the door opens in front of me, and all people that Weasel pops out. It is like he shoved his paws. It's like he shoved his paws up under my ribs and squeezed my lungs in the way I deflate. Okay. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, this sentence makes no sense, and then when you read it, it's like, okay, it makes sense. I hunch over like I usually do, shivering my paws in my pockets, and trying not to be noticeable as I slink past. Of course, he spots me. Oh, howdy, Sam. Howdy. You're picking up the western dialect. Having a hoedown in a hootenanny. I sigh, drawing back against the wall of the building that he came out of, so we're out of everyone's way. Howdy. Cliff looks at me with an expectant smile. What? Well, how'd it sound? What? My howdy! I am working to assimilate better. It's a shortening of how you do, you know? Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it. Which is exactly why you not noticing is the best compliment you can give. I didn't stand out. I think back. Well, maybe it kinda did. I don't think I was paying attention. Good enough for me. And I'm going to have one of these here accents. I'm going to be from the Midwest, or the South Midwest. Texas? Anyways, even though my instincts want to reject this little fellow for being so completely different from me, I kinda want to kick myself for being so down on him. He's not hurting anybody, aside from himself, that is. If you're gonna hurt somebody, it might as well be yourself. I smirk at him. Well, congratulations. You're now an echoer. Never heard of that before. You get a kick up with the balls, and being stuck here forever. Are you implying that you're stuck here? I shrug. Kind of. Nowhere else to go. No real money either. And I'm a suspected murderer. Well, never limit yourself in such a way. Look at me. I'm a mixture of so many things that should never have turned up in a place like this. Yet, here I am. Also, it is kind of funny just seeing these guys with how their things just go straight back here. It's both her and Holly, I think, that do that. You know, Murdoch's younger sister. Well, my advice to you is to get out while you can. They say that if you miss your train, it's gone for good. Don't be silly, Sam. You can still take the carriage, or walk if you don't have the means. Which just moves you on to a shittier town that is Payton. I think Payton gets bigger in Echo. I need a train to get me out west, maybe further. Cliff's life traveling suddenly doesn't sound like the worst. Even if he did land himself in Echo, the poor chump. I guess we don't know why he's here. Is Batvia nice? It is. In fact, being here has made me appreciate the more refined aspects of Batvia and Wensleydale. Is that really Wensleydale? Like the cheese? Not that I don't appreciate the rough nature of the untamed West, though honestly, I find the cities here to be rather harsh as well. For some reason, playing this game makes me want to play Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's a weird thing to want to feel. Well, maybe I'm forgetting all the times it crashed on me, or the long-ass loading times. That's why William moved here from the big city, I think. Oh yes, I even heard stories back home of the brutal outfit that pull most of the strings in the city. I always thought that coming after here from over there, he just kind of stuck up his nose at small-time crime here, but he takes everything seriously. Okay, it took me a sec. It's really weird having an actual conversation with this weasel. Yeah, we might be different, but he's an easy guy to talk to. I guess talking a lot has its advantages. Say, you're friends with the female Kit Fox in the saloon, correct? Cynthia? Yes, she's the one. What about her? Also, what's a Kit Fox? Kit Fox. Usually I think of a kit as like a small, like a baby fox. Oh, they're so adorable. I want one. Though they smell, and I probably shouldn't be having wild animals for pets. Reset face. What about her? Last I remember, the weasel was trying to sneak away from her. Well, she's a member of the Maseta tribe, is she not? I think so. She doesn't talk about it much. Gets real testy if you try. I don't think I've read that word before. I know. I was hoping that, because you're friends, that you might be able to help me. Just because we're friends doesn't mean she'll go along with anything I suggest you do. What do you want her to do anyway? I feel myself getting a little protective of Cynthia, wondering if maybe he wants to run his big school experiments on her, or something. Oh, nothing too serious. I simply would appreciate some direction as to where I should go. That doesn't sound too terrible, I guess. Well, were you still wanting to make an appointment with me? Oh, well, if you're interested, you didn't seem to last night. I was already booked. Just make an appointment with the madame that you'd like time in the smoke room. Oh, I don't smoke. It's code, I guess. It tells them you want to see me without saying it out loud. You remember what happened when you did it last time. Oh, so smoke room isn't all the prostitutes, it's just Sam? Huh. Ah, understood. Anyway, I can talk to Cynthia and maybe set something up between the two of you, alright? Thank you, Sam. Sure. Anyway, it was nice talking to you, Cliff. See you around the saloon then. Indeed. You said almost as many words to me in the past 5 minutes as you have in the few days. I look forward to our appointment. In a few days? What, didn't we just kind of meet yesterday? I don't know. I wave at him before setting off down the street again. Cliff was a nice distraction while it lasted, but now I'm back to thinking on Nick. It's probably less than an hour until noon, which means I gotta head over now if I'm gonna catch him. So I start walking that way. I start getting a creeping feeling, one that's different from one that I expect I'd felt in my room, thank God. This feels like someone real is watching me. I scratch the back of my neck, trying to look like I'm not walking somewhere I'm unfamiliar with. In fact, I don't think I've walked this way since the day it happened. I come up on a small crowd that's packed in front of the press building. Well, it's a tent now, because a month ago, a group of men burned the place down after something was printed in the papers that they didn't like. The dirt around it is still blackish color from the old ash. Now that I'm finally at a place where I might have a reason to stop, I face the tent, then look to my left, up the street where I come. There's nothing out of the ordinary on the wide street. People here and there going about their business. There's a wolf laying face down by another saloon, a much smaller one than ours. But as I'm looking at him, I see something move by the side of the saloon, around the corner to the alley. I look up, and I see just the quickest second, a very familiar tail poking around the corner. I look hard, but it's disappeared. I shift around place, not sure what to do next. Tails can only be so many colors, but I'm damn certain I knew that one. William? So, I sort of press myself up against the side of the tent, wishing there was something more solid to lean on, so I could look more casual. Just as I'm glaring at the way I keep getting bumped into by one in the crowd. Just as I'm glaring at the way I keep getting bumped into the crowd. By the crowd. I see something move again around the corner. Sure enough, the flash of a tawny eye and a sharp ear looks around it. I look up the street right away, pretending I didn't see the coyote spying on me. God damn it. If I wondered how suspicious William is of me, I just got my answer. This is the worst time, too. I need to get to Nick, now. Otherwise, I'm gonna miss him, and he's gonna be in there alone. Oh yeah, because we're gonna go in the mine to look for coins. So I start to push my way through the crowd, getting a shove or two from the loud men as I squeeze by them. I automatically snarl and cuss at them, like you're supposed to when another man disrespects you in this town, but I'm only thinking about William now. As soon as I am past the tent, I take a quick left into a smaller road, with hardly any buildings except for a house or two. With no one around now, I speed up, jogging down the road, before stopping in front of one of the few buildings around. More of a shack, really. I look behind me, and right as I do, I see William, framed right there, between the tent and the building next to it. My heart freezes, but he isn't looking at me. He's looking into the crowd of men, an angry glare on his face, as he pushes a few of them aside. I'm numb, as I just walk into the shack. Coming out of the brightness from outside, I can hardly see anything except the glow of a small lantern in the corner. I stand there for a few seconds, feeling dazed, waiting for my eyes to adjust. I know people are in here. I can hear them, but I can't smell them because something else crowds my nostrils. All that comes to mind is one of my old customers, one that I still remember because he was a panda, and because he smelled just like this. Incense. I frown, wondering. Lee? I could never say his name right, because my mouth just can't put the first and second part of Liu together. So when I said Liu, he laughed and said Lee was right, or alright. But I realized quick that it's not Lee once my eyes finally get used to the dark. Lee's left anyway. At least I think he did. One of the dozens of customers that just showed up. That just stopped. In front of me now, though, is a long-eared thing. I think a hare. He's not Lee, but he's dressed oriental, like Lee would. Then, he starts talking to me in a language that's way too fast for me to even get a hold on. Then, he points at the door. Go. That I do understand. I shift around in place, just wanting to stay a minute or two more until William isn't out there anymore. Can I stand here for just a minute? I won't bother you. The sun's getting to me. Hey, it's that guy. From the, mines, I think? Basically, in William's route, he was at the, miners' bar place when we were investigating the Rats murder? I can't exactly remember why we're there. Because last thing I checked, it was the woman having a miscarriage and acting all weird, and then what's-his-name having his body frozen, his head ripped off. Because probably monsters. To my right, at the curtain, I thought that was a wall, whips back, and what looks like a weasel with black fur sticks his head out. He says something in the same language to the hare. Then he turns to me. What are you doing here? Just passing through. I'll leave in a second. I move a little to my right, so I can't be seen through the entrance. The weasel talks back and forth with the hare again, then turns back to me. Did someone tell you about this place? I look at him, and at the same time, he brings something to his mouth. I focus on it because it's so weird looking, and I think it's a pipe. Just a really long one. I'm also thinking that it's not tobacco in there. The weasel takes a deep puff on it. The hare turns to him and makes a backhanding motion that he'd done earlier with me. The weasel shouts back before the pipe disappears. I guess this could be an opium den. I'm slowly understanding where I am, and why the man is so mad at me. I turn to him, my paws up. I won't tell anyone. I mind my own business. I can promise you that. I'm just catch some shade while I can. I'm not going to tell him the sheriff was following me. There's another back and forth between the two of them, and finally the hare just throws his paws up and walks off over to the chair in the corner he'd probably been sitting on before I burst in. I stand there real uncomfortable, enough that I'm ready to go back out, even if it's been a minute. The weasel keeps staring at me, taking a drag from the pipe every now and then. There's a weird look in his eye, like he's staring at something miles away over my head. Your fur is very white for a mountain lion. I bristle. Yeah, well, your fur is very dark, real dark for a weasel. Sable. What? I am a sable. Never heard of that. Most here haven't. I sigh, deciding I can probably go now. Would you like to try? It sends the sadness and pain away for a while. He holds up the shiny pipe, almost glittering from the light that comes in through the doorway. I watch him inhale again, then blow out light smoke in my direction. And I think I catch a whiff of something else just over the incense. I get a real good look at his hand, and I see most of his fingers missing. Oh, I didn't catch that. Man, I am definitely not observant. I thought, I don't know, his hand was around the pipe or something like that. But yeah, he's missing 3 fingers. I'm not sure if that could be an accident or he's some kind of criminal. His pointer and thumb stick out in a way they shouldn't, while the pipe balances on between them. I start to move toward the door. You can get alcohol or morphine at the drugstore for that. I feel like I'm giving him advice, even though I know he doesn't need it. Maybe it's because I'm friends with the sheriff that I want people to follow the law, even though I don't. This is better, for less money, which is important for men like me, who can no longer work. Ew. But I could have sworn I saw him at the, other place. I look at his hand while he smiles. Caught in the machinery at the mines. Now, I use my feet to pick up trash for pennies. But what about your other hand? The sable looks over at the hare, who is hunched over, looking like he's sewing something, and occasionally interpret for the men who can't speak the local language. I think, whatever this guy is on, I know what it is. I just can't remember the name. It's making him more talkative too. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me stay. I'm feeling better now. I back up. Then, because I've seen the Oriental man do it, I bow. The ornamental man. The sable nods and the hare snorts, but I'm already slipping out the door, glad to breathe in the air that isn't so heavy. I look around. No William. I sigh with relief, feeling the kick of relief, even happiness in my chest. It would have been terrible to get caught in there. Not only for myself, but the men in there too. I look at my paws, happy that they work, decide to ask Nick about that man. Maybe the badger needs to be more careful himself. I'm walking between the buildings, towards the roads to the mines, when I realize I'm not feeling normal. I'm happy, and there's this feeling like I'm floating a little. Most of the worry I had is gone. Did you catch opium high? It's gotten, what would be the word that you'd say, contact high? I'm actually looking forward to seeing Nick. I smirk, shaking my head, wondering how the hell I'm feeling this different when I didn't even touch the pipe. Maybe after this, I can go back and ask a bit about it. I'll look broadly through the sagebrush, only slow my pace a little when I remember that I gotta look out for and listen for rattlers. Before I know it, I am next to the hillside where the mine is, and I stand there, paws on my hips, as I stare up the rocky slope with a grin. I scan the terrain until I see that outcropping of boulders. Sorry, my jaw's a bit woof. It's easy to recognize. Their shapes haven't been burned into my mind. Still, I don't lose my smile as I start climbing up the hill on all fours. I'm out of sight of the town here, but I wonder if the miners saw me coming. I didn't even look at the main entrance. I know I need to be more careful, but I'm not actually in my right mind right now. coming anywhere near these parts of town is enough to make me look suspicious, even before the murder. So I speed up my pace a little, practically prowling my way up the hillside until I'm next to the boulders. I wonder how nice and cold it would be in a mine in, like, Echo. I remember being in a mine in Colorado. It was nice. And I mean an underground mine, not a surface mine. It was nice and cool. And hella dark if you had your things off. We were mapping veins underneath it for, like, school. I look around for a place to sit. Then I just crouch there, appreciating everything for the time being. I even let myself think about how good my future looks. Really? I've wanted to get out of here since I got here, and now I sort of have to leave. Maybe if things can go right, I can ask Nick to go with me. I always hear they got more gold out there, even if the heyday is over. Nick might like that. Time passes in the queerest of ways. I start to wonder if maybe I miss noon, but then I actually laugh when it goes off. It wasn't too late, not at all. Huh, so is that like a cannon? Sounds like a gunshot or a cannon. You'd think they'd just use a bell. I lean my head against the boulder, just waiting for Nick to come along. I really want to see him. I want to talk to him. Really talk to him, and not let his need to look aloof bring the conversation up short. Maybe when we're walking through the mine, I glance up at the boulders and stare for a second, as I see what I think are hands, paws of a bunch of different creatures reaching out of the opening like a bouquet of flowers. I stare, then blink, and it doesn't go away. So I do the next thing I can, and that's just close my eyes again and join the haze. Yeah, that's creepy, but I breathed in Oriental medicine for several minutes, so who knows what the hell it can make me see. And reaching out of a fucking mine, I guess. I cackle quietly to myself, wishing I could see the world this way all the time. Then I hear footsteps, and I peek up with excitement. Perk? But then I hear talking, so I keep crouched in case it's not Nick. But sure enough, I hear his voice rumble out, and that's finally when I stand up, only realizing the ghostly, reaching paws are gone, when I'm staring through where they used to be. Hey, Nick. What? Sam, what are you doing? Well, after you went and left, I realized I didn't tell you a lot of things about the mines. What happened down there. You mean about the crime? I don't say anything because I can see that there's someone rustling around behind Nick. I frown and stare, and Nick jumps aside, gesturing at whoever he brought along. I wanted some assistance, so I brought Yao with me. He's very good at memorizing the mines, far better than I. I frowned deeper, the words I've been wanting to say to Nick getting caught in my throat. How am I going to talk to Nick about what I saw with this guy around? Hello. I can't remember if we've seen him before. There's about 4 different people that we saw. The big cat takes my hand and gives it a firm, aggressive shake. As a friend of Nikolai's, I trust you share in his will and purpose. I raise my eyebrow. I barely make out the trace of the Eastern accent when Yao speaks. He speaks almost as clearly as Nikolai does, but with some musical quality. Hell, he might be even better at putting words together than I can. But I'm still mulling over his introduction. Will and purpose? He's not a minor, Yao. Oh. I apologize. I see that I've made presumptions. It doesn't matter. But with that topic breached, I suspect it's not mandatory for you to share inner trait to understand our obstacles in time. Obstacles he doesn't need to worry himself with. Obstacles he might find calm in his own trade. Are you going to be part of communism? Not likely. But I can't tell him that. I remind you that such obstacles will be universal to every chapter of labor in this country. Perhaps true. But he's only someone I want to help, not recruit. Very well, let us move, and be quick about this. We can talk as we walk. I think with us changing the scene, and just me and a new person, we'll call it. But I'll just do this so we can see a tiger. A communist tiger. Would that be like... I don't know. I'm feeling like Eastern Russia, but, you know, tigers are like a China thing, right? At least when it comes to politics. Because bears are Russian. Yeah, bears are Russian. But anyways, sorry, I'm just thinking up, what is it, like political mascots and stuff like that. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play, because we hit that 30-minute mark. So, please comment, because I like comment, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, or because otherwise, if you like me YouTube and like it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the grow, please remember spending your animals to help control the pet population. Oh, you look at kit foxes, they're so cute! They look like baby foxes, but, you know. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. And until next time, another Let's Play, me, GamerWolfSix, of the Smoke Room. So thanks and see ya.